If you've been chasing that exotic Tempest pistol in the summit, you know floor 100 is where the real action happens. Today I'm sharing some game-changing tips to make farming it a breeze, including how to wipe 5 legendary hunters in literally 2 seconds. Stick around because these strategies will save you hours of frustration and get you that pistol faster. Let's jump right in.
Wait, did we just become best friends? You like what I like and I like you. We run the world playing Division 2.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
Bandidos, what up, your boy Tux here. First things first, the Tempest only drops from completing floor 100, not from the hunters themselves. Set it to legendary before you ride the elevator, and it's about a 45% drop chance once you beat them. On heroic, it's around 35%, and I've noticed that doing it on legendary is a hell of a lot more consistent when it comes to getting the Tempest to drop, especially when you're running with 3 or 4 players. Also, no need to crank up directives either. They don't boost your exotic odds here, so skip the extra pain unless you're feeling masochistic. If you haven't seen my guide on looping floor 100 for endless farms, check the link in the description. It'll change how you approach this, but for now, let's talk quick hunter kills thanks to seasonal modifiers. When your team's synced, you can blitz them with zealot builds. I've got a link below for that setup, or toast them with sanitization for those fire bursts, or even snipe them from afar with shroud for stealth plays. These are killer right now while the modifiers last. But the Oxidizer chem launcher method is classic, always reliable, and sticks around after seasons rotate. Before we hit the hunters though, the real headache is the gallery room. Those waves of enemies you clear first. My buddy Reaperhawk, a total master at this before it was trendy, reminded me of a tip that shaves tons of time off. Shout out to him for the wisdom. In the summit, enemy spawns depend on where players are looking. It's view dependent. To force them all out one door for easy containment, get your whole team pointing cameras at that spot, like the door near the desk. Hold that gaze even through multiple spawns, then blast them with riot foam, traps, fire, or oxidizer, whatever your squad runs. Containment's everything. If one slips out, someone turns to handle it, and that can trigger spawns elsewhere, dragging things out. On Legendary, this makes the room fly by in seconds. We used Oxidizer here, but it's tough on Chungas. They might break through sometimes. No big deal. The method's so quick, just wipe and retry if needed. Chungas don't always show anyways. Now for the hunters. There's always one more than your group size, so 4 players means 5 targets. They spawn across the room in one go, making Oxidizer perfect for an instant wipe. Here's how. Everyone runs an Oxidizer build, and one player equips BTSU gloves with an Artificer Hive for overcharge, and they can boost everybody's skill power up by making that build a future initiative build. But no heals required. Open the doors, and that player starts the timer by moving in while the rest hang back to delay the spawn. Dump your chems on the spawn spots. One covers the right, one left, center for me. As the overcharge player crosses in this case that's Reaperhawk, he deconstructs the hive to activate overcharge and buff everyone. The rest of the players follow through, and at that moment, the hunters pop right into that overcharged cloud. Boom. Dead in 2 seconds flat. When the rest of the players entered the room, it killed the clock and they spawned immediately. So that was the trick there. So let me walk you through the ideal Oxidizer build to make this pop. It's not that difficult. Core it with 6 skill tiers for max power. That's a big deal. Obviously you want the chem launcher, and in this case I have skill damage on it as well as 1 extra round. And then for the other skill, you want the Artificer Hive, which means you're going to need to run Technician. So the Artificer Hive is going to buff the stats to your Oxidizer. So that'll give you more duration, and that is what we're really after here. So skill damage, surely, but duration is a big deal because you want that cloud to hang out there as long as possible on every single chem, so that all those chems can stack with that overcharge. So don't worry about my primary weapons, we're not using them. I do have the pistol in hand, although I am at 6 skill tiers. The skill tier there isn't really helping, it's just in case. In sync is what we're after here. So when I shoot them, which I usually do, I try to put out at least 1 shot when they spawn. It's not really that necessary, but it's an insurance. Then we're gonna get 30% more skill damage to all of those skills. Very good damage. Okay, so really key here is the sacrifice chest piece. It needs a skill tier and skill damage on it. but it's that perfect glass cannon that we're after, which is all damage you deal is amplified by 30%. That's serious power there. This is easier to farm. You don't really need skill haste in this case, and you do want the duration mod, and put duration mods everywhere. But you want that skill damage. If you don't have a skill orientated one, just take your red one and put skill damage there. It's okay to not have the skill tier there because you're going to have the TDI card in your hand, so that'll make up for that. Also, Technician gives you an extra skill tier, which will make up for that too. If you happen to be doing this during the Tech Overdrive event, then you have extra skill tiers on the table as well, which I'm not using in this case. Now we're running 3 pieces of Wyvern because we want that juicy 45% skill duration and then 8% skill damage. Now, there are some other options you can try to do, but they're a little bit inferior. So if you run 1 piece of Murakami, that's going to give you skill duration of 15%, which is great. And then you get your skill damage, so you're looking hot. And then you could also run that new brand set that we got, Shiny Monkey, which is also going to give you 15%. And then if you run a second one, you're going to get skill efficiency at 5%. So if you add all of that up, that's 30% skill duration plus another 5%. So you have 35% skill duration because efficiency includes duration. It also includes damage, which is 5%. So you're at 35% skill duration and 5% skill damage, which sounds great. It's just that Wyvern is better. It's 8% skill damage and 45% duration. Skill efficiency also provides you skill haze. So if you were playing into that, then you can make the trade-off, and it's a good trade-off. But in our case, we just want skill damage and really high skill duration. And then Overcharge takes care of the rest. So all of my Wyvern pieces, basically skill damage and skill haste. And skill haste is a little bit helpful in case you have to put out an extra chem or two. Otherwise, it's just all about the skill damage. All right, the other 2 pieces I'm running, which is a new addition, is the Urban Lookout. So it's that 30% skill duration here by running 2 pieces. Now for these 2 pieces, running 1 piece Murakami and 1 piece Shiny Monkey would actually be the same thing because you'd end up with 30% skill duration. So just go with whatever pieces you happen to have here. Skill damage, duration, and a skill tier. And then my backpack is also that, and I have a red core here, but it doesn't matter. We still have 6 skill tiers. And then skill haste, skill damage, and duration. I'm running tech support. Now, for this case, it depends. For floor 100, you might want 2 backpacks. When you're fighting the floor 100 gallery, tech support is really cool here. Because as soon as you get that first kill, you're going to have 25% more skill damage for 25 seconds, and that's plenty of time to clear that room. But it's not super helpful against the hunters because they all kind of die at the same time. Now, the reality is they don't, but the boost to damage would be short-lived. So the best talent for the hunters is going to be combined arms. So shooting an enemy increases total skill damage by 25% for 3 seconds, which is actually plenty of time, but you can refresh that with every shot. So as the hunters spawn, again, you just put out 1 shot and you're going to activate in-sync and combined arms at the same time. And of course, it'll be short-lived. And these guys might even be dead before it kicks in. So again, insurance. But if you had to make a choice and just choose 1 for the backpack, then go with combined arms because it will actually work for both rooms. But in the gallery, just don't forget to put out your shots for that extra damage. And that's going to help with containment and against those hunters. The modifiers, you're not really using these a ton, but for active modifiers, you do have advanced materials. So if you wanted to put more armor or weapon damage on your build, you could do so and still get your 6 skill tiers by turning this on before you hit the fight. So super easy build, really easy to farm. If you're grinding Tempest or just mastering the summit, give this build and these tips a shot. Your sanity will thank you. Drop in the comments if you got your own tips and hit like if this helped you at all. I'll see you in the rendezvous. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?